people, when they're going through those rough times, like losing your dad, whatever it is, don't run away from it, because you come to a roadblock, and those roadblocks are put there for a reason. There's a greater purpose. You don't know what that purpose is. You don't know what he has planned for you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to The Pour, the place where faith and culture are served together. My name is Father Christian, and today we have the eggplant parm king of Stuart, Florida, who is here to talk about how to get a resurrection in your life when you seem like you're stuck at the cross. If you don't know what that means, we're going to get into that. This handsome devil next to me is not a model from Paris. It is Coach Vaccaro. Chris Vaccaro, yay!
Thank you. That was good.
Yeah. Your hair looking great, you're looking good, smell good, act good. So today's episode is brought to you by Dad's Root Beer. Coach Vaccaro, you're a man of the people, but at the end of the day, you're like our dad.
Right.
I bought this from Fresh Market, so it was like $7.99. And with the tariffs, it's probably $12.99. Cheers to you, sir.
Cheers to you and all of us. Wow, it's worth all $100 you spent on it. Is this the first time someone actually liked the drink on the show?
So please share this episode so we can get the thousands of views that's needed for dads to even care to sponsor us for the future. Coach Vaccaro has coached lots of people as a sports coach, baseball, private coaching. Then you flirted with the majors at one point, so you got some cred there. Let's talk about the bombs that went off in your life.
Some of the big things to me were obviously going through a divorce. Not just one, but two in the last 14, 15 years. Losing my father probably brought me closer to God. Losing a parent or a child or a family member really puts things in perspective. I didn't really know my dad growing up. I knew him when I was in kindergarten. They divorced. He moved to Florida to start his career. I'm from Connecticut, born and raised Stamford, Connecticut. When I got to towards the end of my college career, I was sent down here with the Expos, and I knew my dad lived in Florida. I dialed 411 and got his number. He picked up the phone. I said, "This is your son, Christopher." And I asked him how close he was to Episcopal, and he was 8 miles away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I asked him to meet with me. I asked him one question: why?
Uh-huh.
And that one question, he looked at me and said that he was a coward and that he's sorry. And from that point, I looked at him and said, "I don't know if I could call you dad right this second, but I know that I want to build a relationship with you."
Well, good on him to own up to it.
He did.
For him to say
did.
that probably broke down some walls.
Oh my gosh.
Instead of being defensive and for him to say he's a coward, I mean, what was that like? Didn't that just sort of like take away some of your offense?
It started the relationship. I literally looked at him and said, it's a two-way relationship. What I give, you give in return.
And so I'm assuming that relationship grew
Grew to the point where I met my half-sister. Great relationship with her. And I get emotional because I'm about to turn 50 years old this year, right? So first marriage, he was involved in the wedding. He was there. He came up to Maryland at the time where I was living. A couple years ago, he was diagnosed with cancer. And 6 months later, the Lord took him.
You decided what you needed at that time was to get out of Dodge, right? And didn't you take off to Montana?
I did.
And then why did you decide that was part of the healing that you needed to do?
I was yearning for more, yearning to figure out why things were happening the way they were. Not necessarily going to the right resources, but had some resources around me. The resources around me were going and talking to a therapist and figuring out how I was feeling and how I can become the greatest human I could ever be.
And at what age was this at?
Oh man, this was recently.
God is never done creating. And so you were asking the big questions that sometimes we ask in our 20s, that you get the new way of doing it after this, because your identity changed once you lost your pops.
Losing my pops was a big part of it, and going through that divorce was a big part of it. But going through my first divorce was as big as a life-changing moment that ever was. I wasn't making right decisions in my life.
What do you mean by that?
I was not feeding into my relationship. I wasn't putting myself around Christian, Christ-led people. And that wore off on me, and I made some bad choices, and we ended up getting divorced.
And we just had a divorce attorney on here talking about how horrific divorce is. Like if you come to it, he tries to talk his clients out of it. He's like, I'm telling you, this is not going to be fun.
I don't know if I saw that one, but I recommend talking to that guy. What do? I dove into baseball more, and now I'm on dating apps.
Yeah.
I just saw myself having free time, and I wanted to live life and get started again and find love, because I truly believe in love. I believe in all those things that I talk to my daughters about, but I knew that I had them, and when I had them, I needed to be a dad. I needed to sit with them at the dinner table and talk to them. And when we first did that, the first couple years, I was at the baseball field, picked them up and brought them to the baseball field.
Okay.
They were with me, but I wasn't present.
Yes.
And now I'm living at Fifth Street right across. I could see this building from my front porch. I remember
This building being the church.
being the church. It's great walls. And I remember sitting on the porch. It was early in the morning. I got home probably 2:30, 3 in the morning from a night of being a bachelor. I'm sitting on the porch, and now it's the 9 o'clock service, and the bells are going off. Ding, ding. Bell rings. I say, you know what? That's what I'm missing. And the next week I had the girls. I was like, well, let me figure this out for myself. Let me not just throw my daughters into a decision for me to come to church and just force them to go into it. Let me see what this church is all about. It's calling me.
Right.
The bells are calling me. He's calling me.
Right.
So
You felt like the Spirit was calling you.
I did. So I went and I walked into the
Contemporary family worship service.
and I loved it. And you weren't there at the time.
That's why you loved it.
Yeah, well, probably. Next weekend, got to bring the girls with me and just see how they feel about it.
Yeah. Your kids are incredible. They're amazing.
Thank you.
You wouldn't believe they came from you.
I'm going to say this right now. It is a village.
It is a village. Yeah,
It is a village,
absolutely.
and you're part of that.
In the midst of all this turmoil, your heart was like, I got to take care of my baby girls.
I always had their best interest in my heart, no matter what I did. When I brought them to that service, we walked in and we did the service. And then after the service, there was just an over the moon welcome when the girls hit Sunday school. I'm like, well, what is Sunday school about? I never went to Sunday school. It gave them time to be with their peers, to have some guidance, to see where they could blossom as young Christians. This church and that youth group made everything you just said about my daughters. That's why they're who they are today. So when I talk about village, I talk about their mother, their grandparents, you, everything. People, when they're going through those rough times, like losing your dad, whatever it is, don't run away from it, because you come to a roadblock, and those roadblocks are put there for a reason. There's a greater purpose. You don't know what that purpose is. You don't know what he has planned for you.
Mm-hmm. I like how you speak to folks who feel like they're at the cross right now. We know from our faith, you do have to go through Good Friday to get to Easter. How did you find patience in that when it really looked so challenging for you?
I remarried. I'm going through another divorce. It was a short marriage.
She was like this big?
No, she was a little taller than that. Maybe a
said
couple
short.
inches.
It was
Couple
short-
inches more.
Short marriage?
Short marriage, time-wise.
Just comic relief.
So now I'm going through a second divorce, and I'm really struggling with this one because I thought I've done all the work to deserve something.
Yeah.
So here I am, knocked down. I'm in the midst of selling the home. Girls are now back end of high school, and in my head, failure. I was feeling very depressed. I was feeling down on my luck, and I said, you know what? I need to find myself. My dad passed. He's always asked me to go to Montana to fly fish. I was a teacher, couldn't afford it, going through a divorce. There was always something bigger. I said, you know what? I'm going to go to Montana. I'm going to fly fish the rivers that my dad did. So I went by myself, flew into Bozeman, got a camper van RV, mapped out all the rivers I wanted to go to, had no clue even how to get there. And I fly fished the rivers. And I spread my dad's ashes at Yellowstone River.
Wow.
When I went, it wasn't just going. I asked my daughter, Angelina, to highlight passages, one for every morning.
Oh, wow. Oh, so you included them in this journey.
She highlighted the passages. I didn't even look at them until I opened the front page and it told me where to go.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So I went on this trip, guided spiritually through my daughter, and I asked her to help me to do that with my therapist on questions that I needed to answer along the way.
You came prepared. You did the work, man. You did the work. You didn't say, I'm just going to go fly fishing. You're like, I want to grow and heal and be transformed. I'm getting people to help me along in this journey.
There was something that happened to me on Rock Mountain in Montana.
And Dwayne Johnson showed up.
Yeah. Man. In these mountains, you have nothing.
Right.
You're miles into a mountain.
Oh, yeah.
There are grizzlies. You don't see anybody for 2 days. This butterfly/moth lands on my hand.
Yeah.
And I look at it and I pause and I go, take a picture of it.
Uh-huh.
Then I go to put the line on, he's still there. What? So I grabbed its wings and I went like this. And as soon as I went like that, everything the anxiety went, and
Wow.
the river sounded louder, the lights seemed lighter. And at 1 second I go, did I just pass on? Like it was
Wow.
almost to the point where it was nothing like this ever happened to me. I know this is like a far-fetched story for some people.
And you know the whole butterfly, the resurrection, the power of the butterfly.
I wish I did.
So you have the caterpillar, and then it eats, and then it gets inside, and the chrysalis happens. So that's the sign of the resurrection.
And in my journal, I wrote, my dad visited me. God was speaking to me. You're going to be just fine. From that point moving forward, my life has been completely changed. Unfortunately, I came home.
And then reality came.
And reality came. No, unfortunately, I came home and we ended up divorcing.
Well, it's the Mount of Transfiguration. You have the big moment with Jesus Christ, everything the Spirit gets revealed. You still got to come back down the mountain and get back to real life and face whatever's in front of you. But now you have the Spirit with you.
I make sure that at least once or twice a day that I surround myself in the Word. Somehow.
They look at the people who follow Jesus as disciples because there's a discipline and you have to do the work. It doesn't just fall in your lap. You did the work, knowing what you know and the reality of where culture is at right now. And where do you think the church is going to be? Not this church, the church in general in America will be in 25 years.
I think it's going to be stronger than ever.
Okay.
I do. There's a large majority of people today going through the same struggles that I've been through. I think the love of Christ for everyone gives them their own journey to discover the things that I discovered in my life. As a coach, my favorite quote to everybody is, failure is your best teacher. If you don't win a game, it teaches you how to win the game. If you strike out, it teaches you what you need to do in that skill of striking out. Well, in life, it's the same thing.
Well, the good news for us, Tom, is that this show has been an abject failure, but there's going to be a lot to learn from it. Coach for Carl, thank you for coming on the show, opening your heart, being courageous. I think you're the first person to get emotional, so that is a ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, you got to win at something.
Yeah, and we got no, but thank you, man. It's really awesome. So I'm really grateful for everything you said on here. We love you guys. If you're at the cross, stay in the game, stay in the batter's box. God is teaching you and showing you something. There's a resurrection moment that's going to be there. Might be tomorrow, might be in 2 years, but just keep on showing up and doing the work. So God is with you. Share this with someone who needs this. Ricaro, thank you so much. We love you. We love your girls. We love your whole family. Peace to you.
You want the secret to eggplant farm?
Please.
Never use breadcrumbs.
What do you use?
Flour and egg wash. And the real secret is when you layer it, not to go ahead and cook it right away and eat it. Let it sit, put it in the refrigerator for a day, and then do it. That's where all the oils and everything really come together. And then
Right.
yeah, that's where
That's
it is.
why he's the eggplant parm king of Stuart, Florida. You know the show's 10 minutes, right?
Yeah, but we'll talk for 30. There's editing.